Hi, my name is Keith, and this is a series of videos about my understanding of everyday theology and how it informs and forms our lives. And if you like these videos, please like and subscribe on my various YouTube channels. They are Agency Reviews, Build Your Success, Get Healthy Now, In the World, and KGH Photos and Videos. In this video, I think it's important to share about my own experiences and my story. You see, my life is an open book, and I want people to be able to read that book without covers to hide it. I try to live my life in such a way that I have no secrets. Understandably, there are some experiences and parts of my life that are literally nobody's business, but I do attempt to be as transparent as possible. Now, the preface of my open book is my ancestry, both accepted and forbidden. Everyone has a history with family members or ancestors who have made mistakes, who have even acted out of maliciousness. In my case, we have, there is a family DNA. We all have an ancestral pattern that makes up our family DNA. For us, our family has a pattern of cooks and bakers that go all the way back to the 1600s in Germany before they landed in Pennsylvania and started life in America. My table of contents represent my life stages. So born in 57, the 60s was my childhood. The 70s was high school and college. The 80s, I served as a missionary for the United Methodist Church. For most of the 90s, I was a case manager working for different case management agencies. For the aughts, most of that time, I was working for fundraising centers, which helped me move into the 2010s, where I served for United Way. Went from case manager to a manager all the way up to vice president, and then the 2020s led to my retirement and to now. The days of my life are the many pages. There are events in my book that highlight significant decisions or changes. The first event was a series of events growing up on Army bases in my childhood. And then moving to Germany and moving back from Germany in the late 60s, 68. Going to high school in Melbourne, Florida, and Brevard Community College for my associate's degree in Melbourne, Florida. And then on to Florida State University in Tallahassee. And then from there directly on to Emory University for my master's degree in Atlanta, or outside of Atlanta, Georgia. At Emory, also met and married my first wife, and we had 2 children during the 80s, and also closer to the end of the 80s, I was struck by lightning, obviously survived, and then right after that began my work as a missionary. My first appointment was in Pierre, South Dakota, where I worked with the Lakota Sioux. Tremendous experience working in that mission situation. Lots I could talk about, but I'm not going to do that here. You'll hear more about some of that later. In the end of the 80s, or actually beginning of the 90s, I was divorced, and then in 91 I was transferred to the Navajo Mission in Farmington, New Mexico. Another experience that'll be another story of its own. Great learning experience for me. Then once I completed that appointment, I went on to Webster County, West Virginia, at their parish for my mission work there. My job was to shut that project down, which I did within 2 years, and then moved on to Calhoun County to start a new project at a new parish there, and was there for about 5 years. During that time, I had my second marriage, and when my work at Calhoun was done, I started work as a case manager in Parkersburg, West Virginia. It was during those years that I discovered that I was diabetic, so I had to start treating myself for that, or having doctors treat me for that. Um, uh, Towards the end of that time, ended the second. Well, actually, it was in the 2000s. Actually, my second marriage ended. I moved back to Brevard County, Florida. Um, did some fundraising work when I first got there, and then was hired by United Way after I did some disaster response work with Tropical Storm Faye, and then served went from manager to all the way up to vice president at United Way. During that time, also responded to many hurricanes to help with volunteers and donations. 2018, after Hurricane Michael hit the Panhandle and I was deployed to there immediately after that, I had a heart attack. And then in 2022, I retired from United Way. The following year, I had double bypass heart surgery. And then in 2023, I moved with my two sons to Decatur, Georgia, at a house that my youngest son has purchased, and that's where we are now. The fonts and pictures in my book represent creativity. For many years, I excelled in racquetball. That helped me form a stronger sense of self-esteem. And it was helpful for me, as sports many times is. I've been taking pictures also since my high school days. I do a lot of photography, and I think I've gotten better at it over the years. And I've also always been good at starting and building programs. From when I first started with a coffee house ministry in Melbourne, Florida, when I was just starting my community college years. Up to today, I've always been active in helping people either start their own programs or start them with them. Individuals that are in my life are my bibliography. There are specific people along my journey that have helped form my history, both positively and negatively. And they include family members, friends, relationships, and business acquaintances. I'm not going to list who they are, but they know who they are, and they know that the impact that they've had on my life. So if you can't tell somebody what you've done, and you can't share your story or your book, then maybe you should reconsider your history. Maybe you've done some things wrong, but don't let that hold you back. It doesn't mean you can't move past it. Accept that responsibility and move on, because you do have a story to tell. It's a true story with many ups and downs, and it's a story that should be told. Thank you, and if you like these videos and would like to hear more, please hit like and subscribe. And thank you. Have a great day.